Hey, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us on what I think is probably the most important webinar we've had in maybe a decade. We've all been through a lot of weird stuff lately, and today, though, we're going to show you how you can conduct remote business, stay in the game, and really learn how to become an expert in online presenting. And my name's Joseph Ohlson, one of the managing partners of the Ohlson Group. We're right now working in our virtual underground bunker we've set up. We're all set up remotely, just like you guys are on lockdown here in Indiana. But we're working seamlessly, and so just wanted to point that out because it's timely that we're doing what we're going to show you guys how to do. So, to set the table, the slide says keeping the engine running. To start off with, remote application and remote selling, it's now accepted by most all FIA carriers. And it was kind of funny as an aside, in the months and years prior, there's been a few holdouts that for some reason wouldn't allow for remote business. Well, as you can imagine, it only took them a couple days of this coronavirus crisis to get on board, and now virtually all of our FIA carriers are accepting e-apps, and if they're not, and accepting remote business, and if they're not, they've told me that it's coming in the next few days, not even weeks, in the coming days. And e-applications right now are going to be the way to go. We're working remotely. A lot of insurance companies' employees are working remotely. So if you can get an e-application in there, it's going to allow for much quicker processing and a lot less chance for not in good order, things that you have to go back and redo. And who would have ever thought, this next point, that clients would feel safer not seeing you in person and more comfortable, seeing your face on a computer screen. But that's the new normal we live in, is with this, social distancing and isolation. Clients are going to feel safer not seeing you in person, but they're going to want to make sure that they see your face, know you're a real person, that you're dressed professionally. And I'm not saying you have to wear a suit and tie, but just look like you're going to work. I know you guys and girls are already doing this, but just a tip there. And we have a unique opportunity in our business. People need safe havens for their money. Today, I'm looking at the Dow right now. It's up 1,100. It's been a wild whipsawing back and forth. But one thing I think is going to be holding true through all of this is the hangover effect for this crazy black swan event is going to last a lot longer than the hangover after the 2008 financial crisis. So people need safe havens for their money, and we can meet their needs. You can, without seeing them in person. Business will continue. And as an aside too, I know part of this slide is cut off here, this last point, but many of our top producers were already using video conferencing and remote selling before the pandemic. In fact, it's a tremendous opportunity to expand your territory. You can do business in several states without leaving your home or your office. All it takes is a non-resident license. And like I said, most carriers now are accepting cross-border sales. So really, this could be a bigger opportunity than we've ever had before. And on the same theme, life in annuity business is not shut down. Can you imagine being in other industries like restaurants, retail? Maybe you've got a warehouse full of inventory. It doesn't matter what the product is. Luckily, we sell the miracle of paper and ink. We don't have a huge inventory or anything like that to worry about. And on top of all that, there's a tremendous demand to exit market volatility and enter a safe haven. Even though the market's up today, people today nearing or close to retirement or in retirement, they want out. They want safety. We can provide that. So it's a tremendous opportunity. And getting to the theme of this call, remote business, many experts, psychiatrists, psychologists, pundits, and talking heads, you've seen them on TV, they've suggested that Americans use this time to learn a craft, maybe write that book you've always wanted to write, learn a new skill or a hobby. Well, our challenge to you, kind of like the task force 15-day challenge, this isn't a 15-day challenge. This is an ongoing challenge for you, but to use this time to become an online presenter and an expert one at that. It's so simple to do. And really, guys and girls out there, all it takes is a couple hours of training, watching some of these videos that these companies put out, and you'll become a master in no time. And as you can see on the screen here, the first platform I'm going to discuss is GoToMeeting. We're actually using GoToMeeting right now, and I want to pause too. I know I promised, in my invite that we were going to do a full run through of GoToMeeting or some sort of platform like that from start to finish, show you how to do everything. I thought that might have taken a lot of time, maybe an hour, hour and a half, and I realized we're going to be discussing a lot of platforms. So what I want to do is give you a lay of the land. And at the end of the call, we're going to email everyone a PDF with a link to each one of these platforms' websites to download and get more information about these products. And a link to their tech support links where you can schedule live demos through these platforms. They're the ones that put these things out, and they can train you even on the minutia. If you have a small question, they're the tech support, and you'll be paying them anyways for this, so take advantage of that. But with GoToMeeting, it's very easy to use. It's easy to invite clients to a virtual meeting. You can show your screen. Your webcam allows your client to see you. And again, tech support and live demos are available through GoToMeeting. So this is one I would highly suggest taking a look at. We'll be discussing a few others here, but this is one I think many are familiar with. Zoom. Zoom is one that you've probably heard about a lot. I saw this morning the stock on Zoom just today, and I know the market's up, but today they're up 7%. I think over the last week, unlike everyone else, they're up double digits over the last couple of weeks. It makes sense. People are looking for different ways to conduct business across the world remotely. But to me, it's my favorite. It's the best video conferencing service available. Really high quality HD. Even if you don't have like the best video camera, the way they can do it, it really, for some reason, they're able to, with their technology, make everything look even clearer, even if you don't have the greatest webcam. But I like it because it's user friendly. It's almost set up like your cell phone, your smartphone, where there's apps and like little buttons like that make it just easy to navigate to do different functions. And when you look more into this, you'll see what I mean. And what I like about it too is you can invite up to 100 participants per presentation. And as an aside too, a lot of people are looking at ways to do virtual workshops. We have an outlet, and you can call our office, and we can tell you about this, that using Facebook can get you, up to 50 to 80 registrants on an online seminar, workshop. And what a good service like Zoom to use. You can have up to 100 people in there for the $15 package. I think if you go for the $30 a month package, you can get like up to 200, but I think 100 is enough for most people. You can decide that. But what I love about it too is you can show presentation slides alongside of your video feed. So maybe you start at the conference and it's just the full screen of your video, your screen, they can see you, you can see them, you build rapport. And then you say, hey, let's get into the presentation. You still present, but they can still see your face. And hopefully you can see their face too if they've got a camera and see that they're interacting with you. And as you can see, the website's listed below there. And the training link is listed below there too. We're going to be sending you that in the PDF after the call, like I mentioned, so you don't have to worry about feverishly writing this all down because we've got you covered there. But Zoom is one I would really look at. Skype. Skype is one that's been around for a long time. I think a lot of people, 65 and older, have used Skype before. I know personally, even back in the early 2000s when my sister was living abroad in Madrid in Spain, I know my parents would do Skype video calls way back then with my sister Kylie. So it's one that you should maybe be familiar with because a lot of people on the other end use it. You can do HD video calls with one person, groups, you can share your screen. And again, there's great 24/7 tech support. And we've listed the website and the training link there, but Skype is one I would become very familiar with. This next slide here, FaceTime, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger. Sometimes you don't need the full-blown presentation of a GoToWebinar, a GoToMeeting, or a Zoom. Maybe you just want to pick up your phone like you do with your friends maybe and do a FaceTime with your client and just do an informal call that would not require, full screen sharing type presentation. FaceTime is great, but it has a limitation because it only works for iPhones and iPads. Android technologies have their own version of FaceTime. So make sure you're covering all your bases, I'd like you guys to, part of the challenge today after the call, go to your app store and download Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp. And with Facebook Messenger, you don't even have to have a Facebook account. So it's easy for your clients and prospects. Maybe they're not on Facebook for whatever reason. You can have them go in the app store on their phone, download Messenger or WhatsApp, and it's so easy to set up. And right inside those applications, there's a clearly defined video call button that you can utilize. Yeah, and not to beat a dead horse, but most consumers use these technologies, some of them to communicate with their kids and grandkids. You've probably heard countless stories of grandparents, using FaceTime to talk with their grandkids. And as an aside too, I just saw this morning a commercial for the Jitterbug smartphone. We all remember the old Jitterbug, non-smartphones. I was kind of excited to see that they had a smartphone for seniors, and everything's a little bigger on there. But point being, they have the app store on those, and so most of these consumers are going to be friendly to these technologies. But I like these informal video calls that don't require a full presentation necessarily. And just a few tips for success, using video conferencing. Everybody's got their laptop or their regular webcam. At my office, not in my remote bunker here, but in my office, I actually have a nice HD video cam that I've put on top of my screen that I use for a lot of different Zoom sessions and things like that. And it's just a much higher quality HD. And I can't remember the cost. Maybe it's 50, 75, 100 bucks, whatever it is. You might want to look into that. And when I say it's super easy to install, you literally clip it on the top of your screen, plug it into a port on the side of your computer, and it's plug and play. Another tip, do a couple trial runs with friends and family, maybe your spouse, prior to meeting with your clients and prospects. All of these platforms have a practice function, where you can practice and make sure you know how to do it. So, just become familiar, watch those YouTube videos, watch the training videos that these companies put out there. It's just going to be super helpful for you. Hey, and don't forget to turn on the lights. Make sure you're in a good spot. Maybe if you were going to conduct one of these remote, calls, maybe you look for a place in your house where there's a nice picture, or, all you have to do is watch the news right now. A lot of these news people are working from home, and you can tell that they might have organized a part of their house, maybe moved some books around and made it look like there's a little library behind them, some pictures, some plaques. Have some good lighting and something good behind you to look like you're in a real home office. And I apologize, this last bullet got cut off, but look professional and smile. Wear business casual clothes. Smiling will make you look more confident. You'll feel positive, and they'll feel more apt to do business with you. Winning the war. So we've covered a lot of these platforms, but I just wanted to touch on this again, that our industry is in a much better position than most all others. On top of the stimulus some of us might get too. There's no reason for business to slow down if we master remote technology. A lot of companies and industries are just trying to stay afloat and wait for the storm to pass. And then after that, they can get back to business, hopefully if their business is still open. With us, we're seeing apps flying in right now. People are doing business. Our agents, I'm so proud of them. They're already, a lot of them, mastering this technology and being innovative and learning how to do this. So not to beat a dead horse, but please do your own research on these additional training platforms. YouTube, I said it before, they have so many training videos, but call the tech support for these people, for these companies. We cannot provide tech support. That might sound kind of weird, heavy-handed, but if you really think about it, our job is to show you what's out there. We're showing you a menu of these technologies that you can take advantage of. They're really easy to master, but we're working behind the scenes to scrub your applications, to maybe help you set up a lead campaign, maybe help you with your branding, get you a website, set you up on our proprietary drip email marketing system. We even have a mentor program where you can work with one of our producers who does remote business like this, where you can sit in on a couple WebEx calls with this agent and learn and have a monthly, standing call with this person who does $20 million a year. I'm sure most of you have seen some of the webinars we put out on that before, but I just wanted to put it out there. We have a program where if you want to master this technology and you're going to do that, this guy can help you make sales, show you how he closes $20 million virtually. And I'll tell you this too, most of his clients, he lives in California, most of his clients live all across the country. And he used to have to drive around all the time. Now he's sitting in his office, making these video presentations and closing business, I'd say in 15 to 20 states. So it's just amazing what we can do now. And all it takes is a non-resident license and you can do it. So I don't want to make this too long of a call, but we'll get through this together. We're getting through it together. There are huge opportunities for us when we get out from under this virus, but we're already there. We've already got the opportunity. So give us a call, 877-844-0900, 877-844-0900. Call us about case questions. Call me about the mentor program I mentioned, loss recovery strategies, whatever it is. We're open for business. I thank you guys so much for your business, for hanging tough. The most talented, loyal agent force in the business. I'm really thankful. Like Harry Carey said from the Cubs, let's go get some runs. And like my dad always said, until next time, good selling. Thank you so much.